the birth of a dream in the heart of the Cold War. As the world watched two superpowers compete for dominance, a new frontier emerged, one that lay far beyond borders, beyond politics, beyond even the Earth itself. It was the dawn of the space age, and in 1958, the United States took its first bold step toward the stars. With the establishment of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, humanity's dream of exploring the cosmos suddenly felt closer than ever. The journey, however, would not be easy. In the wake of the Soviet Union's successful launch of Sputnik in 1957, the United States found itself in a race against time. The world had changed overnight. The sight of a small metallic sphere orbiting the Earth was more than just a scientific achievement, it was a statement, a challenge. If humans could send machines into space, what else was possible? Could a human being step beyond the confines of Earth and survive? Could we one day reach the Moon, Mars, or even beyond? For the men and women working at NASA, these weren't just questions, they were missions waiting to be accomplished. First steps before reaching the Moon. NASA had to learn how to send a human safely into space. The Mercury program was the first step. The goal was simple, yet groundbreaking: send astronauts into orbit and bring them back alive. This meant designing new technology, understanding the effects of space travel on the human body, and preparing a group of individuals who were brave enough to face the unknown. 7 astronauts were chosen, known as the Mercury 7. Among them were John Glenn, Alan Shepard, and Gus Grissom, names that would become legends. These men were more than just pilots. They were pioneers venturing into uncharted territory. Every test, every simulation, and every launch was a step into the great unknown. On May 5, 1961, Alan Shepard became the first American in space aboard the Freedom 7 spacecraft. Though his flight lasted only 15 minutes, it proved that the United States was ready to compete in the space race. Less than a year later, John Glenn became the first American to orbit the Earth, completing 3 full revolutions before returning home. These missions, though brief, paved the way for what was to come. The challenges ahead. The path to the Moon was fraught with obstacles. The rockets needed to be bigger, more powerful, and more reliable. The spacecraft had to sustain human life for days at a time, withstand the harsh environment of space, and return safely to Earth. The risks were immense. Early tests resulted in failures, setbacks, and even tragedies, but NASA pressed forward. The Apollo program was a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Engineers, scientists, and astronauts worked tirelessly, often spending sleepless nights solving problems that had never been encountered before. They were writing history with every decision they made, every calculation they checked, every launch they attempted. And then, on July 16, 1969, the moment of truth arrived. Apollo 11, carrying astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, lifted off from Kennedy Space Center. The world watched in awe as the Saturn V rocket roared into the sky, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of an entire planet. 4 days later, the words, "The Eagle has landed," echoed across Mission Control. Humanity had reached another world. When Armstrong took that first step onto the lunar surface and spoke his now immortal words, it was more than just a victory for NASA. It was a victory for all of humanity. Beyond the moon landing was a defining moment in human history, but it was only the beginning. NASA had achieved what once seemed impossible, yet the urge to explore further continued to grow. The Apollo missions that followed built on the success of Apollo 11, sending astronauts to conduct more research, collect lunar samples, and test new technologies. However, as the 1970s arrived, priorities began to shift. The high costs of lunar exploration and changing political landscapes led to the end of the Apollo program with Apollo 17 in 1972. But NASA had no intention of stopping. Instead of focusing on the Moon, attention turned toward long-term human presence in space. Skylab, the first American space station, was launched in 1973. allowing astronauts to live and work in orbit for extended periods. This was a crucial step in understanding how humans could adapt to space over time. Then came the Space Shuttle program, revolutionary leap forward. Unlike previous missions that relied on disposable rockets, the shuttle was reusable, making spaceflight more sustainable. Between 1981 and 2011, NASA's fleet of orbiters Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour became workhorses of exploration, launching satellites, conducting experiments, and building the International Space Station (ISS). However, space exploration came with risks. The tragic losses of Challenger in 1986 and Columbia in 2003 were painful reminders of the dangers faced by astronauts. Yet, NASA pressed on, honoring those who had fallen by continuing their mission. The future of space exploration today. NASA's vision extends far beyond Earth's orbit. The Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon, this time to establish a sustainable presence that will act as a stepping stone to Mars. Robotic missions, such as the Mars rovers and the James Webb Space Telescope, are uncovering the secrets of the universe, searching for signs of life, and exploring planets and galaxies beyond our own. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are working alongside NASA to make space more accessible, bringing humanity closer to a future where space travel is no longer a dream, but a reality. The question is no longer if we will go further, but when. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: space exploration is no longer just for astronauts, it's for all of us. Every discovery, every breakthrough, and every new mission brings us closer to understanding our place in the cosmos. If you believe in humanity's journey to the stars, don't just watch, be part of it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us on this incredible adventure. The universe is waiting, and the best is yet to come.